Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to a brand new exciting video. Today is a slightly different video. I'm actually going to be reviewing a viewer's tactics. Now, this is something I want to do in the future. I want to review viewers' tactics. I want to review tactics around the scene and just give a breakdown of how they perform for me. So if you do have a tactic you want me to test, feel free to add me up on any social media, send it across, and I'll review it as soon as I can. But before we get into it, leave a like on the video, drop a comment below if you do want to get involved, and please do hit that sub button. Let's get into it. So, this tactic was created by Dracula FC. I believe it's a Pirlo Inspired formation. He's a regular viewer of mine. I'm Dracula FC, so massive shout out to you for supporting the channel, as always. And also a reminder for anyone, if you do want to get involved in this, have your tactic tested, please do leave a comment below, and then we can talk about how you want to send over the Football Manager file, and I'll happily make a video on any tactic and do a full in-depth review. I'm also going to be just taking tactics from the scene, people that, upload tactics and review them. Obviously, if you want me to give you credit to any social links, things like this, then I will 100% do so. I spoke to Dracula and he didn't really have any links he wanted me to promote, but please do, if you are interested, make sure you show him love in the comments, and let's do a tactic breakdown. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see how we done in terms of results. So I tested this with Juventus and I believe Lyon. I done Juventus because it was a Pirlo inspired tactic. So let's see how we done in the league. So we finished second, but it was by a point. So we nearly won the league in our first season. Just to clarify, there's no signings been made the entire save. I don't make signings when I test tactics because I feel like it can affect it. Like if I was to bring in, I probably couldn't with Juventus, but if I was to bring in Mbappe and Haaland magically, then obviously it would make any tactic look good, right? So I mean, I kept the same team. I'll show you the team afterwards as well, a full in-depth, sort of tactic breakdown. But 83 points, quite a good season to be fair. Winning the Super Cup as well there against Inter Milan. We actually scored the best amount of goals, 91. Now, I will say that's very impressive because personally, I uploaded a Johan Cruyff tactic myself, and that was all-out attack, three at the back, attacking wingers, attacking players all over the shop. That did get 120, but I'm taking this into account that this is a four at the back, very resilient formation as well, which also was the fourth best for goals conceded. So, as terms of a balanced formation goes, scoring 91 goals in a season is actually very good. So, huge shout out for him for that. And he's just unlucky that we didn't win the league by a point, literally by a point, which is gutting. Obviously there, Dusan Vlahovic, sorry, honestly, I butcher names for fun. 53 goals there. So a very, very standout season from him as well. Dybala, the man from our Atletico save, who is so key, does it again in this save as well. Most assists as well coming in there. Best pass completion from Chiellini. And honestly, to be fair, I know we didn't do great. Actually, we did runners up in the Champions League. So we actually got to the Champions League final as well. Runners up as well in the Coppa Italia. Now, I'm going to give some context here. I'm going to give a bit of an insight. I simulate these. You obviously you understand I simulate them. I go on holiday because I let the tactics sort of play itself. If you were actually playing this save, when you get to a final, obviously you can tweak stuff in the game. So getting to the final is actually a massive accomplishment purely off going on holiday. Like, if I knew I was in the final on these, I probably would have managed it if it was my personal save. And then obviously you can tweak as you go into the final. So we actually, we finished second in the league. We finished second in the Champions League, second in the Coppa Italia, and we won the PS5 Super Cup. So I would say that's a very, very good season. Let's go into the squad and see some of the key stats. So we'll go goals. So obviously we've seen this guy, the main man, with 53 goals. We then got Chiesa there with 23. We've got Dybala coming in with 29 assists, 15 goals. Two players out on loan here who I won't talk about. Then it dies down a little bit here. We've got 11 assists coming from Danilo. And honestly, 13 there from Cuadrado, who obviously is a fullback. Now, what I will say is this pretty much tells us, if I go back onto if I go back onto Danilo, that tells us that these fullbacks are getting involved in the attack and play, which is really good to see. And it just sort of gives us an insight that a lot of players are chipping in with going forward, as well as doing the defending duties and things like that. So that's a good thing to see with the formation. If we have a quick look at the schedule now, we'll see where we slipped up, where we done well. So a 7-4 there against Hamburg. I'd say that's quite expected. We'll go through sort of the cup games because they're the most important. A 7-1 thumping there. A loss to Napoli, obviously one of the stronger teams in the division. An unfortunate loss there. Lost to Atletico Madrid. Beat Madrid again. Beat Madrid in the, not replay, but the next game. Besiktas a comfortable win. Wolfsburg a comfortable win. Inter Milan a 2-1. And actually 92nd minute winner. Jesus. We progress in the cup there. 5-0 against Man City, so this formation can do it against big teams as well, and we also beat them in the second leg. Is 3-1. We actually take on Milan, obviously a team in our league, which ended up drawing in the first leg, beating them 2-1 in the second. Inter Milan, we actually beat 4-0 in the second leg of the Coppa Italia. 2-2 draw in the semi-final first leg, a 4-2. So this, what I'm seeing from this, right? And we lost on penalties in the Coppa Italia, and we did lose fairly in the Champions League final. What I'm seeing in this tactic, right, being 100% honest, it does not struggle against big teams at all. You can go against most of the big teams and get a result. I mean, Roma here, we actually beat 7-3. You can go against big teams in this, and you can take over. I feel like it's a bit of a misjustice in somewhat, because obviously I do simulate this, I don't play it myself, and I do feel that at least one of these finals, if I was manager myself, I possibly could have won one, especially this Coppa Italia against Milan. And I feel kind of bad because I do genuinely feel like one of them we could have won, but obviously it is a simulation. I'm only going to show you what did happen. I'm not going to replay it and make sure we do win. But I will say that our first season at Juventus, no signings, not even managing ourselves. It's a great tactic. It's a really good tactic. Now, if we go into the data hub, which we will do, I'm going to look at the key findings. We're going to go through the basics because we've also got another save we want to sort of dissect, which is going to be with Leon, and then we'll do a tactic breakdown. I'm going to leave the tactic in the description, which you can download, but do not credit me for this. This is all Dracula FC. Show him some love in the comments. Once again, if Dracula, if you are watching this and you want any social links promoted, do hit me up and I'll add them to the description. But let's have a quick look then. So general performance, this is a big one, which I don't even review in my own. I need to start adding this in. So goals per game, we're sort of expected around 2.5, 2.6 to be fair. So I mean, overall, that's very good in itself. We then go on to conceded per game, 0.8. So if we round up then, so even if we were to say, conceding 1 goal a game and conceding expected goals, let's lower that down to 2 and 1. So we're scoring double what we're conceding if we were to disadvantage ourselves in the percentages. But we're actually expected to concede 0.7, so it's even less than what we actually did concede. But if we go off what we did concede, we're still expected to concede 1 or less goal a game, which is very, very good, to be honest with you. Anything that's below 1 is very good defensively in my eyes. That's how I see it. Shots on target ratio isn't the best, but a lot of my tactics that I make aren't the best either when it comes to shots on target, because I don't tell them to create that perfect opportunity. I let them have the freedom, let them have shots when they sort of want. Pass completion is very high on this one, nearly 90%, very close to that, and the tackle win ratio is nearly 80 as well. So very, very good, scoring a high number of expected goals per 90 minutes compared to the average. And overall, I would say this has been a very, very, very good breakdown of our performance this season. We have a little look here at some of the look at the attacking. It's a bit more very similar to what we saw. We can just sort of see about 21 obviously shots on target. The cross completion is quite low, but again, a lot of my tactics also have that, because I don't really focus on the quality of the crosses in the game, that is for sure. But I would honestly say, well, I've got the goal output as well. It's always interesting. So we're top of the charts for high quality shooting and strong defending. We create a great number of good chances in the average team. We concede fewer total good chances in the average team. So it tells me that this formation is, I'm going to word it like this, it's like it's a balance. It's not the best in the league. Well, it is this season, but it's not, when I say it, it's not all out attacking. So if you use this tactic, some seasons you're not going to score the most, and you're not also going to concede the least. It's a very well balanced tactic, and I feel like it's a very good option to go down if you're a team which there is competition in the league. Like the Italian league, there is competition on Football Manager. As you can see here, Milan won it. Obviously, Inter Milan can win it. Napoli, I haven't seen win it too much when I personally played, but we were literally a point behind, so it was very unfortunate. But a massive shout out again, because honestly, I really do like this formation. But let's get into the Lyon save, break down that season, and then we'll have a quick look at this tactic. So we then hop in to the French league with Lyon. Obviously not the favourites to win the league, and we didn't win the league. PSG won it by a convincing amount of points, but one thing I will say, we locked in second place with ease. We obviously had a 12-point gap there, and with the second best for scoring goals, obviously a bit more competition in that sort of aspect, because PSG are going to thump most teams in the league. With a sixth best for conceding, so slightly worse off when it comes to using a team with a bit of a weaker back line, should I say. And to be honest, it's happened again. Like, we finished second, which is fine because it is the French league. We lost in the semi-finals against Lazio in the Europa League, and the quarter-finals in the French trophy as well. Now, one thing I'll say again, just because I hope you got, obviously you guys, I hope you understand this. Obviously, I do simulate the season, so when we play these semi-finals, I don't go in and set up tactics. If I was playing myself, or you guys were testing this tactic, and you were using it on a personal save, you could tweak this about, you could make substitutes of your own choice and things like that, and really impact the game. So these finals, could have gone, or semi-finals could have gone different ways. But we'll have a quick look at some of the player stats. So we've got Dembele there with 38 goals. We've got Arouar there with 7.5 on his highest average match rate, and 18 assists there. Denied there with a 98% pass completion. So the goals are still coming in, which is very good to see. We'll have a quick breakdown, because we've done a very, very in-depth breakdown of the Juventus season, and we want to spend more time of this save going over the tactic and explaining it to you guys. So I'll do a quick review here purely off the goals. So we've got Dembele with 38. We've got Akambi there with 25. Cherki there with 12. Kadewere there with 10. Awar? I think that's how you say it. Awar there with 9. Paqueta there with 5. And the assists, what are we saying here then? So we've got Awar there with 18. 13 for Dembele. 13 for Dubois. Emerson there with 10. Is he on? He's a loanee, isn't he? He's a loanee. Must remember. Must remember, obviously, from Chelsea. That is the guy from Chelsea. The forgotten man. Also, Tanky and Ndombele there on loan as well. The Spurs man at one point did actually look quite promising in the Prem, but just didn't quite hack it. But we'll have a quick look at the schedule. I just want to see how we sort of done against like sort of PSG and the strong teams in here. So we beat Juventus, so this is what I mean. This tactic is really good against the strong teams. Even PSG there, we were unfortunate to lose it, by a goal, 3-4. So I mean, very unfortunate there. We beat Monaco, obviously, probably the second favourite, arguably, I suppose, but we smashed them 6-1, which is very good to see. Marseille, another strong team in the league, we beat 6-0. So I mean, it's just showing that this tactic, okay, I say that. One game we got battered against a big team, but it is PSG. But overall, we do perform very well against strong opposition, especially in the Juventus save, but also quite in this save as well. We do it quite a bit in this save as well. So I mean, overall, I would say this tactic is perfect for those who possibly don't want to go all out attacking, goals, sort of like my Johan Cruyff tactic, but also aren't playing with a team that has sort of got no quality in it. So you're playing 5 at the back, negative counter-attacking football. This is a lovely balanced tactic, and one that I would definitely try if you're, I don't know, just looking for a very balanced season. I would say would be my advice personally. I feel like on both tests I've done, maybe not this one as much actually, but on my Juventus save, if I was playing that personally and I made signings, I think we could have won the league, and we could have won the Super Cup, which we did, and we could have won the Coppa Italia, being honest. But obviously, you guys test this out, and, let me know how it goes on in the comments, and then I'm sure Dracula will respond to you guys in the comments as well. He seems like a nice guy. Let's have a quick look at the tactic then. So, I assume it's Pirlo Inspired. I've not changed the name of it, nothing with the tactic, so I will leave this in the description as well. But it's basically, what have we got here? It's pretty much like, it's like a 4-4-2 narrow, isn't it, basically? You got your four, and then your 2 up top. This is who we were playing in this save. Obviously, they've got a reasonably decent team. What I'm going to do is, just so there's not so much blatant colour on the screen, I'm going to clear the entire team selection, and we can break this down. So, the mentality is positive. In possession, we've got fairly narrow. We've got pass into space, play out for defence, or play out off defence, sorry. Shorter passing, a higher tempo, run at defence is selected. Nothing selected on here. Low crosses, not mixed on this one. Low crosses, and nothing selected for the creative freedom. Moving on to the transition. We've got counter press, counter selected, distribute to the entire back line, which includes centre backs and full backs, and roll it out as the distribution type. Moving on to out of possession, we've got a higher line of engagement and a higher defensive line, so higher on both. We've got tighter marking selected, trigger presses on more often, and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. So a few things to copy there, but as I always say, guys, just in case you aren't aware, you can simply download the tactic from the media file link in the description. Click this button here, click load, and find the file on your computer, and it will load up instantly. Now, let's go over the player roles. So, we're going to start off with a sweeper keeper, who is on the support role. He's on ease off tackles, shorter pass and selected as well. So, he's a bit more disciplined, like, I assume, so he won't come rushing out the box to try and, you know, put in a challenge and things like that, which isn't a bad thing, I suppose, because, I mean, goalkeepers do make errors on this game. Moving on to the right back, we have got an inverted wing back on the attack role, which explains a lot why the fullbacks, especially in the Juventus save, were getting so involved, which is good to see. Balanced on the trigger press, tackle harder. We've got sit narrower and get further forward, cut inside with the ball, shoot less often selected, and that is pretty much that for that. So you are going to have very attacking fullbacks, which I'm a big fan of. I love attacking fullbacks, I really do. Moving on to the centre halves, we've got 2 ball playing defenders. We've got one which is on the defend sort of duty, on the balanced trigger press, tackle harder selected, stay wider, shorter passing, and shoot less often selected. Moving on to the left hand side of the back 2, we have got ball playing defender, defend duty, exactly the same, stay wider selected, shoot less often, shorter passing, and tackle harder. This shorter passing, I can only assume, obviously means that the centre-backs will look to sort of feed this ball either wide into the full-backs or play it into this midfield sort of trio quadruple diamond. And that is a very good thing, because obviously having 2 creative centre-backs, just, you know, sometimes, like you watch in real life, a lot of the best centre-backs now are good with their feet. So having 2 ball-playing centre-backs could be a real good thing to have in a team. Now, we're going to have a look at the left-hand side, which is it is the same to the right-hand side. We've got the trigger press on balance, tackle harder, get further forward, sit narrower, cut inside with the ball, and shoot less often. So exactly the same as the right-back. So with this, you can expect to see 2 very attacking fullbacks who obviously give you the width in this formation, because there isn't much width. So these fullbacks will push up, and that, you know, as you can see from the Juventus save, they do get involved, they do chip in, and it's very good to see. Moving on to the first, well, the one of 4 in midfield, we have got a deep lying playmaker on the support role, which is very good to see as well. We've got the trigger press on less often, shorter passing selected, dribble less selected, and everything else is just how it is. So quite basic instructions, being honest, for that, but it does the job quite well. Moving on to the left-hand side of things, we have got a box-to-box in here, which in my opinion is always needed, in especially a formation like this. Box-to-box midfielder on the support duty, trigger presses on balanced, mark tighter is selected, stay wider, which is great for this, because obviously, again, it's not a formation with much width, so you want your midfield players to, at least one of them, be wider, just to make up some of the ground which we're not covering. We've got him on shorter passing and run wide with the ball, again, giving us a bit more width. Take more risk selected on him as well. Moving on to the right hand side, slightly more pushed up into the midfield, we've got a Mezzala role in the support role, or the support duty should I say. We've got Mark Tighter selected, get further forward, and again, I'm loving this from you, Dracula, stay wider and run wide with the ball. It's simply to give the formation a bit of width, because obviously if you sit too narrow, the other team can just play wider and you get cut apart for fun. So having the midfield players that do push out a bit wider, will, you know, make it a little bit more easier to counter teams that do play with whip. It really will. And shorter passing selected, and that is it for that. Moving on to the more attacking midfielder in the attacking midfielder role, support duty, we've got trigger pressed on balance, get further forward selected, move into channels, more direct with his passing this time, dribble more, and nothing else is selected. So this guy, obviously, you're not going to be drifting out wide. He's going to be more centred, probably to feed through the ball to them two strikers, to be honest with you. And having them get further forward is a great thing because, obviously, you've got three midfielders that are also capable of coming back and winning the ball back. So having one sort of attacking midfielder who does focus on purely getting forward is a very good option to have. Now, we're going on to two of the main men in the team. On the right-hand side, we have got an advanced forward on the attack duty. We have got the trigger press on balanced, tackle harder selected, and shorter passing on as the directness. Nothing else has been selected, so we're going to leave it as it is. Personally, for me, I sometimes, if I'm playing two up top, I sometimes like to have one that is more selfish than the other, which he might actually do. So we'll have a look before I say that. No, so I'm going to mention that after, but the same for this guy here as well. We've got tackle harder, we've got shorter passing, and that is pretty much it for the advanced forwards. But for me, when I play two up top, I like to have one that is a bit more selfish, but that all depends if you've got one striker that's clearly better than the other. So, like, for example, I'm trying to think of a team that possibly would. Example, top of my head, if you think of Dortmund, you got Haaland, obviously you did have Haaland, you got Haaland and like Marlon. Examples, you could literally have like Haaland on shoot more often, take more risks, he's like the selfish player, right? Then you could have Donny Marlon sort of as a support striker that isn't told to shoot more often, but will still shoot, but mainly focuses on getting the ball to Haaland, who obviously is the better striker. But this did work as well, so huge props to him there. And that is going to be the tactic broke down across two saves. Let me know what you guys think of this sort of series. I don't know how often I'm going to be posting these, but as long as there's people sending me tactics, I'll keep uploading them because it is nice to test other tactics because it saves me, you know, just constantly reviewing my own. It's like a surprise when I review someone else's because I get to learn and I get to, you know, see how other people play. Like I said, I will be using tactics all around the community and crediting those who I do use the tactic off. But if you have enjoyed this, please leave a like on the video, drop a comment below how you think this tactic plays out. Feel free to test it out yourselves, link is in the bio. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it enough, please do leave a like on the video and please do subscribe, turn on notifications for plenty more uploads. Underneath my camera, I've personally selected a video which I really think you'll like, and also up next on the other side is a video that YouTube think you might like from my channel. So please do check them out, guys. Also, if you do want to keep in touch with me, be sure to follow my socials. I've got my Instagram and my Twitter above. I love to interact with you guys. But last but not least, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.